We start the day's other headlines in Kenya, where chaos erupted in the streets today as police clashed with protesters amid growing public anger over police brutality and corruption. In the capital city of Nairobi, demonstrators scrambled from tear gas and rubber bullets. A Kenyan rights group says at least 8 people were killed nationwide and hundreds injured. Today's unrest comes 1 year to the day since at least 60 people were killed in anti-tax protests. Young activists say they have yet to see any accountability.
Too many Kenyans are losing their lives in the hands of the police. So we want justice for everyone so that we can move forward as a country.
Kenya's President William Ruto had reiterated his support for the police and today urged protesters not to, quote, destroy the country. Many have called on him to resign. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, the Israeli military says that 7 of its soldiers were killed in Gaza today when Hamas militants attached a bomb to their armored vehicle. Family members and friends mourned one of the soldiers in the coastal city of Ashkelon. It was one of Israel's deadliest days in months. In Gaza, Palestinian health officials say Israeli attacks killed at least 79 people in the past day. More than 30 of them died while trying to reach desperately needed aid. Palestinians make up the vast majority of those killed in the conflict. Israel says it targets only militants and blames civilian deaths on Hamas. On Capitol Hill, President Trump's nominee to lead the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention put herself at odds with her boss, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., today on the issue of vaccines. During a Senate confirmation hearing, Susan Menares called the jabs life-saving, and she drew a contrast with Kennedy, who has suggested a link between vaccines and autism, which is contrary to scientific evidence.
Do you agree with the American Medical Association that there is no scientific proven link between vaccines and autism?
I have not seen a causal link between vaccines and autism.
Today's hearing took place as a newly formed panel of vaccine advisors met for the first time. The group was handpicked by Secretary Kennedy after he fired all 17 experts from the committee earlier this month. Several of his replacements have outspoken anti-vaccine views. This new group says it will review the vaccine schedule for children, which could affect how and when kids are immunized in the U.S. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will remain in jail for at least a few more days as legal teams debate whether he'd be deported if released. Supporters rallied outside a Tennessee courthouse today after a judge had ruled that the Salvadoran national could be freed ahead of his trial on 2 counts of human smuggling. But his lawyers worried he might be immediately detained by immigration officials and deported. Abrego Garcia was mistakenly deported in March and was brought back to the U.S. earlier this month to face trial. Separately, the Trump administration is suing all 15 federal district court judges in Maryland over an order that blocks the immediate deportation of immigrants. A judge said last month that those who file a petition in that state cannot be deported for at least 1 day. The blistering heat wave across the eastern half of the country has now been blamed for at least 1 death in the St. Louis area. That's according to local police. Nearly 128 million Americans remain under extreme heat warnings and advisories today along large portions of the East Coast. Already this week, dozens of daily temperature records have been broken across the Midwest and Northeast. New York saw its hottest day since 2012 yesterday. But there is some relief in sight. Forecasters say the heat will gradually weaken through the end of the week, although that comes with the threat of severe thunderstorms across the central and eastern U.S. On Wall Street today, stocks took a pause after 2 days of strong gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped around 100 points on the day. The Nasdaq managed a slight gain of around 60 points. The S&P 500 ended pretty much unchanged. And an international team of astronauts blasted off early today on a privately funded mission to the International Space Station.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
A SpaceX Falcon rocket launched from NASA's Kennedy Space Center with U.S. astronaut Peggy Whitson on board, along with crew members from India, Hungary, and Poland. The 2-week mission was organized by Houston-based company Axiom Space. Tickets cost $65 million per traveler. The crew is bringing dozens of experiments to the ISS, plus food from their home countries, including Indian curry, spicy Hungarian paprika paste, and freeze-dried Polish pierogies. Still to come on the NewsHour. A Senate committee considers the White House request to claw back government funding. One of President Trump's judicial nominees faces congressional scrutiny for his willingness to defy court orders. And acclaimed poet Arthur Z reflects on his career bridging Western and Chinese traditions.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein Studio at WETA in Washington, and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.